All of Us or None is a civil rights organization. It's a grassroots movement of formerly incarcerated people.
We all stand together. We all have to stand together.
And our mission is to fight against the discrimination that we face coming out of the prison system.
This discrimination has got to stop, you know?
And what we're doing is trying to strengthen the voice of formerly incarcerated people and actually promote policy change that is needed.
We deserve, we demand opportunities for our lives.
All of Us or None is a movement, not just an organization. It's an organization that is constantly evolving to implement the policy changes and the missions and campaigns that we've adopted as an organization.
On behalf of All of Us or None and all of the organizations and people who have made this day possible, we'd like to thank you for coming.
Today, in this house and in this place, what we're saying is that we're no longer going to run, and we're going to speak in our own voice. And we ask our elders and our community representatives to hear us talk for change.
The Peace and Justice Summits that we organized have been an opportunity for formerly incarcerated people to testify about the barriers that exist for reentry.
The money that you get released from prison with, the $200, you know. When I got released back in 1976, I got $200. And now this 2004, and they're still giving you $200.
What we wanted was to put a face on the problem by the people who are having the problems. We want to become the experts of our own lives.
I got out of prison and I went to school and became a registered nurse. But it took me approximately 10 years to receive my nursing license unencumbered, simply because I had a felony conviction.
Everywhere I turned, I ran into a brick wall. I tried to get into subsidized housing, but HUD guidelines say no to drug felons. I tried to go back to college so I could have a viable career. The federal grants and loans said no, you're a drug felon.
I think this is the first time that formerly incarcerated people have actually organized a situation where we are the ones that are testifying and elected officials are the ones that are listening.
I do got 2 strikes already.
The first Peace and Justice Summit took place in Oakland. It was followed by one in San Francisco.
We held it in East Palo Alto, we held it in San Bernardino, we held it in Los Angeles, both in Watts and in Compton. You know, and we still going forward with them.
The genius behind the summit was to invite elected officials to listen and to be part of making a long-term commitment. And as an elected official, I was drawn into it.
And so we're going to ask the Board of Supervisors to adopt a resolution opposing discrimination. So we'll get rid of that box.
We were being respected, our voices were being heard.
They said to elected officials, this is what we want you to do. They gave you one concrete task.
Ban the box on applications for public employment.
The significance of All of Us or None is that we are formerly incarcerated people who are determining our own agenda.
And the demands that we are actually campaigning around came out of the Peace and Justice Summits.
I see the demands for policy changes here today. Our office will be looking at all of these. We'll see what we can do in the coming years. I know I'll be carrying at least 1 or 2 or 3 of these bills myself.
But we're not going to walk away from today's meeting and never be seen again. You will be seeing all of us.
We just organized ourselves, and that was just revolutionary for us.
Ban the Box came out of the Peace and Justice Summits. It was one of the main demands that we made.
To ban the box is that question: have you been convicted of a crime? Have you been convicted of a felony? Have you been to prison? Have you been to jail?
It's not that people believe that you should not consider that question. It's when and how you consider the question.
We believe, and we know from speaking with employers, that many times if someone checks the box, yes, I have a past conviction, that application's thrown in the garbage.
Generally, when people see that box, formerly incarcerated people just give up. They don't even apply.
I might not ever get a chance to tell you that I went to school. I might not ever get a chance to tell you that I've been trained. I might not ever get a chance to tell you that I have this experience that very well qualifies me for the job.
Well, we try to point out to the employers that actually there are many, many highly qualified people who have had some kind of interaction with the law, whether it's a conviction or imprisonment, who would be an asset in their employment pool.
It's a quandary for felons who have done their time trying to find a job and being faced with an application that asks for arrest history. Tonight there's a move to change city employment applications in San Francisco and get rid of the dreaded box.
Why do we keep punishing those who are formerly incarcerated by persecuting them?
The dream includes me. I'm back. I deserve an opportunity to actually have health care. I deserve an opportunity to support my family.
We won tremendous changes in public policy and public hiring processes in San Francisco. We started out by going to the Human Rights Commission. Simultaneously, we went to the Board of Supervisors and started having discussions with the Department of Human Resources and also appear in front of the Civil Service Commission.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Linda Evans. I was in prison for 16 years.
I'm here to speak about equality, justice, and fairness.
None of us, until we engaged in this, studied government to the point where we even knew what a resolution was. So not only did we discover what a resolution was, we discovered what an ordinance was, and we discovered how to turn a resolution into an ordinance, which was the actual expression of public policy for a city and a county. You know, that was remarkable, and had people show up on time to make cogent arguments before elected officials.
Every time I would fill out an application, I would apply for the job, which I knew I was qualified for, I would get no response. If I lied on it and they found out, I would get fired.
You know, for some people, they walked out the room and said, I really told them. It was the first time they got a chance to tell anybody anything.
The process of those discussions actually convinced the Department of Human Resources and the Civil Service Commission to change their policies. Where before there was a question, have you been convicted by a court on the initial application, that question has been totally removed. Once a person is chosen as a finalist, then they are required to fill out a conviction history form. It means that people who have those convictions who are applying for the job can actually interface with their interviewer about those convictions. We won in San Francisco, and we've taken the campaign to Alameda County. We have won there.
Our office worked with all of us to sponsor a regional meeting of elected officials and HR directors. The goal was to promote the idea of what we call banning the box.
My mission is to find the most qualified candidates for employment and to have an efficient and effective human resources system.
It's our social responsibility. It's what's right. It's what's just.
I saw that we had, the application language was very discouraging. And I thought, that's not a fair process. That's not giving that individual a level playing field.
I wanted to have the opportunity to share with other human resource staff and with elected officials the perspective that we had taken here at Alameda County. It wasn't so much, especially in Alameda County, and myself being a lawyer and having the legal background, that we were saying we're going to relax the standards and bring people in that were going to cause negligent employment claims to go up. And I think that was some of the fear with the traditional HR approach or with the traditional elected officials. What I wanted to be able to convey to them is that there is a way we can do this that levels the playing field. They're not asking for something that a special favor or some special set aside. They're asking to be treated fairly. Just judge me based on the skills that I bring to the table, then look at my background and see if it's something that precludes me from being able to do the job.
Our work is really focused on creating a situation where people who have records and those who've been incarcerated are treated with respect and dignity.
Ban the Box in a different form has also taken place in other cities. Boston, Chicago, St. Paul, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Washington, D.C. has an initiative. We have a resolution and a campaign going now in Los Angeles. People in Sacramento are considering it. East Palo Alto has removed the box from their application.
Formerly incarcerated people have a great deal of talent. Many, or all actually, are formerly incarcerated, so you've served your debt to society, and it's important that we put people to work.
Voting is one of the most fundamental rights that's taken away from people when they go to prison.
You know, having rights are meaningless if you don't know that you have them, or if you're encountering obstacles to exercising them. And what we have learned through the work that we've done, through the work that All of Us Are None and other organizations have done, is that there's a lot of misinformation in California about who's eligible to vote and not vote based on a prior criminal conviction. The law is different in so many states that people have heard, oh, you can't vote if you have a conviction, and they just assume it's a blanket prohibition on the right to vote. And in California, that's simply not the case.
The ACLU and All of Us or None collaborated on a really effective billboard, bus stop poster, and postcard campaign that used the pictures of All of Us or None members and quotes from us about our right to vote. The goal of our voting rights campaign in California is to make sure that every formerly incarcerated person knows that they have the right to vote if they're off parole or on probation, and that that right cannot be taken away from them.
Every billboard, except for one, were all members of All of Us or None. A lot of people still don't recognize what courage it took for people to actually expose themselves in that way. Discrimination that we face is deep-seated in this country and deep-seated in this state. So for somebody to step forward and to have themselves identified in that way, take a special type of courage. Your first step is that says that I'm a formerly incarcerated person and I have the right to vote is a bold statement.
Doing this kind of public education is a really first and critical step in actually being able to increase voter registration.
We're also registering people to vote, and one of our goals is to increase the number of formerly incarcerated people that are voting, that believe their vote counts.
It is intolerable that in this country we have millions of American citizens who are denied the right to vote simply because they have a criminal conviction.
It's crazy to think that we can go halfway around the world and fight for democracy in Iraq and deny democracy in San Francisco, in Bakersfield, and in Los Angeles.
Our overall perspective is that ultimately we believe everybody should have the right to vote, including prisoners.
Initially, when we started doing the bike giveaway, we gave the bike giveaway in relationship to how do we get people to think about the large number of people that are being removed in the community.
Your parent in prison. Your real dad's in prison. Alejandro's missing. My homeboy Alejandro's missing.
Children having fathers missing, mothers missing, your cousins and your aunts are gone. And they go away for 2 or 3 years and everybody's pretending like it's okay and it's not having an impact.
Your new bike.
The other initial thing that happened that started it, we were contacted by people in prison who asked us to give away the bicycles to let the children know that they loved them. And every time we gave away the bicycles, we always says, we stand up at the beginning of the bicycle giveaway and announce that these bikes were provided by people in prison.
Come on here, homeboy. Why don't you read this number off for me?
The bike giveaway has just evolved into something that All of Us or None is sponsoring and advocating for and making happen every year.
We started off giving away a handful of bikes in Oakland. Our last bike giveaway, we gave away 141 bicycles away, stereos and toys to a community.
We want to give back as well in the community. So formerly incarcerated people get together and we give bikes away to children in impoverished communities.
Charitable giving on the part of formerly incarcerated people is something that people don't normally think about. A football player can give away little or nothing to get on TV. For people who actually give that nobody ever anticipate ever would, never make the evening news, because fear sells and my rehabilitation doesn't.
We have to change the public perception, and that's really one of the things that we do with the bike giveaway, is to change the public's perception of who we are.
And what we're going to give away is all the love that we have to bear, because we're here to serve the community.
So it's like when I see formerly incarcerated people putting bicycles together and participating in that way, I'm seeing the development of human beings in a different way that's equally important as the children who are receiving the bicycles.
Clean slate is a term that is used to indicate the legal remedies that exist in California for people to clear up their records.
I'm trying to work at a school, and every time this is my second time being laid off because of my background. So I'm trying to get it cleared up.
It's a very time-consuming procedure. It does require a lot of legal help. And so around the state, All of Us or None has collaborated with local legal service institutions to provide free legal services for people who want to clear up their records.
There are several private defender program lawyers sitting in that room that are anxious to talk to you and tell you what you can do and how we can help you.
Now, some of us ain't never seen an attorney unless we was dressed up in orange. This time you get to sit down and have a person answer your questions through something other than glass.
We've held Clean Slate Summits in Alameda County, San Jose, East Palo Alto. In San Francisco, we haven't needed to have any Clean Slate Summits because Jeff Adachi and the Public Defender's Office have instituted a model program.
The San Francisco Public Defender's Clean Slate program was created in 1998 to help people clear their criminal records, and we're clearing now over 2,500 records a year.
We want to expand the number of offenses that you can commit and then get cleared after you've done your sentence. We want to expand the remedies to include people that have been in prison, and we want to make it easier for people to do. Right now, in order to clear up your record, you have to go to every single courthouse where you ever had a case. That is literally impossible for many people. And what we want to do is create a process that centralizes this so that you can go to court one time for any convictions that are eligible for dismissal and do it from one place, your county of residence.
We have to realize that 85% of the people who are in prison right now are going to get out. And most of them are going to get out within the next 2 or 3 years. What are we doing to ensure their success when they come in back to society?
My hope for the future of All of Us or None is that we'll create a powerful political movement where people who have been in prison actually have their rights restored.
I'm hoping that some of the campaigns that we're doing locally will advance themselves nationally.
I think it's such an important organization because these issues that we're talking about really ought to be informed by and driven by the communities and the individuals who are most impacted.
As far as groups that are organized, I like working with them probably more than anybody else. They have an agenda, but they're also fair and reasonable. You can have a conversation. And while they are very clear on what their agenda is, they also understand the politics of getting something done.
I think it's been a great education for me, just talking to them and learning the impact. I just hadn't paid attention, hadn't been involved, and now I'm real happy that we're able to do something. And if we can do more, we will try. But it's a start.
After spending 20 years in a federal prison, I came out into a community of people that supported me as a human being. So that keeps me involved, and then the people I left behind. I will always, probably until the day I leave this earth, work with prison issues.
And I'm hoping that some of the work that I do will inspire people still in cages to dream that they're entitled, to have expectation that they can have a life. I dream that people will sit there and think that they have the ability to change the world. I want my kids to think that they have a chance of changing the world.